Good morning, good afternoon, good night, wherever you're tuned in from. Give me a 1 if all the audio, visual, everything's working good, so we make sure it starts off with a bang. We got a lot of stuff we're going to go over today. It's going to be a very interactive show. How are you feeling? How are you doing? Are you buying? Say buying. Are you selling? Say selling. Are you sitting on your hands? Say good student. Because right now we need to really identify what our action plan is, especially going into a couple days right now where we got a lot of volatility inbound. So shout out to everybody here today. And I want to make a point, and I've said this, but I get a little distracted sometimes once we open up the chart. So I'm going to say it before we start here. I want to make a point that I want to really engage with you all here in the chat. I'm going to sort of minimize my screen over here so I can see what's going on. I really want to engage with you all. So if you have some questions throughout the stream, you could do hashtag question, and then you could put the question, or you could just, make it a very obvious question, or super chat, of course, always works as well. I'm going to make a point where I do a couple segments, at least one segment throughout the show. If there's a lot of questions, we'll do 2 segments where I'm really engaging with you all. And it can be about what's going on in the market. It could be if there's a particular setup you're seeing, you want to clarify it if I hadn't already clarified it, or if there's a question about how to engage with these markets and what to do. It's okay. This is what this stream is here for. This stream is here to not only break down charts, strategies, and signals. No, it's to show you how to arrive at breaking down your charts, identifying the using analysis to identify the signals, and having a strategy in place, learning a strategy, different strategies, so you can identify ones that work for you. So I've got my what do you call it? My Discord open. We have a private Discord channel. Alex Green, our illustrious and wonderful Alex Green, set up for the mods and I. So when there's stuff going on stream, that's why I have my headphone and it dings in my ear when they're messaging me a bunch if I forget to go on a screen, or if you all have questions or anything like that, especially if there's any super chats. I want to make sure nothing gets overlooked. If anybody is, I take it very seriously, and I don't request it from anyone, by the way, but I take it very seriously. If somebody's willing to super chat for have something highlighted, it obviously helps the channel and paying all the bills for us to continue doing this, but I also want to make sure that they get the acknowledgement for doing those. So whether or not you do super chat or just ask questions, I want you all to ask questions throughout. And we're going to be breaking down a lot of charts in TA today. We're going to look at some on-chain data. We're not going to really cover news much because you know what? It's okay for us to cover news on this channel, where we break it down here and there periodically, maybe once a week, where maybe a big story, we talk about it, how it's impacting, how we should think through it, and how these things can impact not us, but how it's impacting the majority of other traders in the market, because that's what we're trying to do when we're identifying good buy and good sell points. It's trying to really read the data on a chart, and through the data on the chart is providing us that price action, the line when we're looking here and we're seeing price action on different assets and different indexes and seeing what's going on. When we're looking at these things, what we're really doing, and I want you to remember this, we are either participating in the narrative that everybody else is, and the longer it takes to follow that narrative that the everyman is following or the every woman is following, the longer it takes us to do that, the less likely it's going to be for us to make profits. So what we're really doing when we're looking at price action is trying to identify the psychology of the market and where they think things are going. We have the FOMC meeting today and tomorrow. Now, price, I don't want to say is going to be suppressed, but there's going to be lack of conviction in one way or another today and tomorrow. Now, if we got some big move today, I would fully expect that to come back like a vector candle, or I would fully expect the liquidity to come back to the area that it explodes from. If it were to happen today or tomorrow before 3:30 p.m., I would say, well, maybe a little bit, right shortly after the FOMC meeting that happens, because any move that happens today or tomorrow, I would look at not necessarily as manipulation, but as there's not really a narrative to support that being pushed that direction. So I would really advise against, and I do not give financial advice, this is strategy advice. I would really advise against jumping in, and not only today or tomorrow, but anytime when you see a big green candle or a big red candle, that is not a signal to get in or get out. A big green candle is confirmation of a move, momentum building in that direction. The question is, what happens on the retest? That is where the magic's at, okay? Now, I just want to say before we dive into all this stuff, thank you everybody for being here. I'm going to shout out a couple names. Karen Swigart Harris was the first in the room. And by the way, for those of you that it's your first time, my name is Kelly Kellam. It's an honor. It's a pleasure to have you here. You can find me right there at Kelly Kellam. I'll pull that up on my Twitter here in a little bit. But shout out to Amela Fellow, Karen Swigart Harris, Crimson Caravan Company, Alexandra G, Unforgettable Name, Matt C. We got so many people in the house, and I appreciate each and every one of you. We got Jackson Crawford, Mike Volmer, Jeanette. I think I saw GS in here. I'm not sure. She's always in here as well. Texas Twister, what's up? You know I'm originally from Texas. Brad Guidell, Tenacious B, all the people that I'm seeing in here on a daily basis. I appreciate you all. Blazing 2Js. I sang your song for you yesterday. Justin Eubanks. Who else we got in here? A couple more and we'll get this going. It's all the regular names. Donald Massey, how you doing, my friend? Sawtooth Hiker, Crypto 420, Total Clinic Solutions. So many people I'm seeing on a regular basis. So with that, I got to say, before we get this going, we got 100 people in the room, 40 likes. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, ding that bell. Where's that? Ding, 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 ding. Ding that bell right below the video. If you're in chat on your mobile, exit out of the chat. Hit that like, hit that subscribe, ding the bell. Why do we ask to ding the bell? Because, of course, you all know I have been working tirelessly, and it's not just me. I've been working tirelessly alongside Alex Green has been helping tremendously. Unforgettable Name has been helping with the Crypto Wiki that's going to be basically brought into the, I need to adjust my camera a little bit, don't I? It's brought in, that's going to be a part of the new BitLab Academy. Let's go ahead and move that down. There we go. That's a little better now. Now I can slouch a little bit. But I've been working tirelessly and with full focus on not only doing this daily stream, yes, but getting the new BitLab Academy launched. And so there's been some things that I'll say it. I'm sorry to admit I'm only one man, and there's so many different focuses here at the Hit Network. This is BitLab is my baby, and you know, everybody is so focused on so many different things. My focus here is of course all BitLab, and so getting the new BitLab launched has been an absolute massive undertaking, and it looks like we are going to be doing it you know, this week. We wanted to do it Wednesday. It's looking like it's probably going to be closer to the end of the week. Some back end things within the course because we have a whole new course flow, all new. Let's just go ahead and dive in here. Let's just look at this, and we can just focus fully on the on the charts. So this is the new website. We've got a wonderful little welcome message there. It also talks a little bit about what we're doing. People are going to be able to sign up for free. Now, of course, there's two different sections. There's a free section that has very beginner friendly stuff. And then of course, as you know, once you want more access, when you want to have all access, then you get access to all the courses. Of course, with the, I got to write a description there. We just added this yesterday, but we're going to have blockchain 101, Bitcoin 101, crypto beginners. It's going to be all free content in there. And then of course, all access gets you everything from, you know, trading fundamentals, psychology of trading, on-chain data analysis, candles, candle patterns, indicators, trading strategies. And we're still filming stuff. So this already is going to be like, I think over 100 new lessons, all brand new, recorded, you know, over the last 3 or 4 months, edited with the supporting content and materials. And I cannot wait to share all this with you all. And then, of course, we've got the FAQ here, the FAQ, that it's going to be a lot easier to really understand, well, my Discord's not working. Well, how do I get access to Discord? We have all the things here, you know, basically some of the things we're still kind of filling in, but we've got all the information here for all the stuff that's going on. So It's going to be very easy to navigate. You'll be able to come down here to contact us if you have something that's not included here. If you do ask a question, once this is live, if you do ask a question that is answered in a FAQ, you will be directed back to the FAQ. That's why we spend all the time setting this up. But I want to say, I appreciate you all, and I'm so excited to share all this with you. Once this gets fully launched and let loose in the wild, of course, we've got the incredible Discord as well that you get access to as a free member with the limited access, of course, and the all access, the premium people get access to the full Discord. And I'm going to be able to spend a lot more time not only doing the stream, but doing more content here in the afternoons for this stream, as well as being involved in the Discord a lot more, and as well as putting a lot more attention into the weekly newsletter that we have not been putting out because we've been waiting for this launch date. But the weekly newsletter, you can sign up for it here on the current BitLab Academy site. It's going to be the same web address once we go live. You can just sign up right here you'll get notification as soon as we go live here. But you'll also get, basically it's a free alpha newsletter. I share charts, I share some setups, I share a lot of stuff here. And not only that, you also get entered to win a free month access to the indicators and the courses. And in addition to all of this, we've got so many new updates coming to the indicators as well. We're adding some beginner-friendly options because our indicators are incredibly. There's an incredible amount of data within them, and it's a combination between day traders, active traders, stream traders like myself, as well as absolute big money, smart money. Our engineer and friend of mine, who's basically the other half of this project, building these indicators with me. He's actually got the coding skill to put all these ideas to the paper. He also, before doing this with us, worked, with a multi-$100 million hedge fund that was doing high frequency trading. And so we kind of blend the knowledge of what we want to see for beginners as well as what smart money does. So we're putting a lot of energy and effort. We've put a lot of energy and effort into the BitLab trading stack, which I will be breaking down a lot today. You can find it here right now, bitlabacademy.com, and you can come right here. You can sign up right here, give me monthly access. And there's a lot, you'll get all the updates once the updates come out as well. And you can use BitLab 15, and it's right here at bitlabacademy.com/indicators. You can also just click on the indicators button at the top of the page, which was right here. Just to show you. We're going to be diving into a bunch of charts here in just a second. Just want to get this out of the way. You can sign up right here. You can use BitLab 15 for an additional 15% off your first month. That's for the indicators and the trading stack here. And we've got, these things read everything from divergences to hidden volume to the health of a move within a move, so you know if a pause or consolidation or pullback is likely coming. So let's go ahead and show what's going on in the markets and talk about that. Now, again, I want you all, and for Crypto 420, good morning, muchachos. Yes. I want everybody to be engaged today. I'm going to be asking you questions. I want you to get engaged with the chat. If I ask you a yes or no or a one or a two, get involved. Before we do that, it's been a while since I've done this. Where are you tuned in from? What city and state, or what city and country? Let me know. It's always interesting to see. Sometimes we have a lot of people in the States. Sometimes we get a lot of people, on the other half of the world, whether it's the Middle East or Asia or North Africa or Europe. We have people from all over, and I appreciate each and every one of you. Let me make sure. I'm going to make sure that sometimes I don't have closed captioning on. And I forget because you have to set it manually each time. Customization, closed captioning. I don't know where it is. Details. English. It should be good. All right. So what I want to say is there's a lot going on in the markets. FOMC tomorrow. JP Morgan Chase just bought, had to take over, didn't buy. They were kind of forced to take over First Republic. But what we want to talk about today is there's enough news being covered by so many different channels, and it's not wrong. It's good to have different voices, but I want to break down the charts. I want to break down what's going on. So let's see where we got people today. We got people from Oh man, South Carolina, Packwood, Washington, Idaho, Wisconsin, upstate New York. What's up? I'm heading back to New York Friday. Los Angeles, Canterbury, UK. What's up? I love our UK folk. For whatever reason, I don't know if it's just the way the algorithms work. The London area and the surrounding area is our largest viewership in terms of individual city out of everything. Of course, we predominantly have the U.S. Residents watching. We have the largest individual city that watches is the UK. So shout out to them. We got to Canterbury, UK, New Jersey. We got everybody everywhere. So let's Tennessee, Jacksonville, Columbus, Toronto, Oklahoma City, Cali, all over the map. Alrighty. Well, again, I just want to say thank you all for being here. And you know what? Let's go ahead and dive into what's going on in the markets. Well, before we get directly into the charts, let's just kind of cover a couple things. And I just want to point out this is all ammunition. This is all is this hold on a second. My thing is messed up. Hold on one second. Oh, give me one moment. My camera is, there it goes. Did you guys see that? I didn't do anything. It just switched on its own. Okay. My camera was very kind of crooked there. So I just wanted to make sure. Yeah, it should pop in place. Now, this is what I wanted to point out. We all need ammunition for talking points when we are dealing with friends and family and fudders and haters and, oh my God, Bitcoin's so bad for the environment. Well, just take a look at this photo. This is the world's largest Bitcoin mine. This is the world's largest gold mine. Okay. Now, Bitcoin mining, does it take a lot of energy? Yes, but that energy, first off, I want everybody to recognize there's about 30 to 35% of the energy that is produced globally. 30 to 35% of the energy that's produced is wasted, never used. And you can't just, it's not like once you create energy, it's just there and you can use it. You either have to use it or it's basically expunged. It becomes no longer available. It dissipates. Okay, this is why batteries are important. This is why battery technology is being driven so hard by Tesla and a number of other people. And the importance of batteries, especially when we're talking about green energy, whether or not you believe in the need for green energy or not. Let's just talk about if we were to move towards green energy, the only way to make that a sustainable thing, not sustainable, the only way to make that a feasible thing is to, where is my window? The only way to make that a feasible thing is if we have means to properly store that energy and hold it over time. So if we're having 30 to 35% of the energy that's being produced being wasted, doesn't it make sense that if we just utilize Bitcoin mines and I've already seen this with, Texaco and Chevron, I believe, and other oil and gas producers. They have a lot of burn off as well. So even not only creating the energy, and that energy is already created and 30% of it's wasted. In addition to that, there's burn off gas that they do on mines that they can now just convert that burn off to just powering something that's converting to Bitcoin. So you're literally, don't look at it as energy being wasted when it's mining Bitcoin. You are converting that energy, the effort made to utilize to make that energy, and it's transitioned it into a storable value, right? And then that's always that. So the argument that Bitcoin is energy intensive is absolutely stupid to me, because gold, paper money, think about banks, think about how much energy has to be utilized in order to mine this gold, the fossil fuels used, the production of the vehicles, the transport of the gold to the facilities, the storing of the gold, and having to build facilities to store the gold, because it's very, space intensive and weight intensive, right? So it's not transportable. So this argument that Bitcoin's bad for the environment is just a complete misrepresentation of what Bitcoin is. And so we need to understand that. Now, I just wanted to give you guys a couple ammunition points so you can speak confidently and with good talking points if people bring up things that maybe that was the only reason why they weren't involved with Bitcoin. Is because maybe they're very green and ESG focused, whether or not you agree with that or not. But the point is, if you're trying to make sure that you're bringing people into the crypto ecosystem, we don't want to push them away. So offer them valuable points and talking points that, you know, the news narratives aren't talking about. Okay. So now I do want to ask everybody, as you notice, I did a little bit of a change up on the way the screen is organized. There's a little bit more real estate for video on here. And also when we get on to, you know, when we're sharing charts and, you know, we have the share screen, this screen is bigger around the edges, if you notice, as well as I changed the shape of the sub video down here in the corner so we can really make sure that there's a lot more real estate to share with you all. Let me know if you like it, you know, the color scheme and all the stuff. Let me know if it's, you know, I want to make sure you guys are happy and it's not, I see, yeah, crypto meme, you're monetizing energy. That's right. I am monetizing energy and Bitcoin is monetizing energy too. We should all be monetizing energy, but let's go ahead and get this going. Let's talk about what's going on. I just wanted to make that point. If you haven't yet, come over to the Academy BitLab, which is BitLab Academy. The @ is @Academy BitLab. If the mods can share that in the chat, but also at the very top, you'll see the pinned tweet. It says retweet for a chance to win. Retweet these daily tweets. Come and follow BitLab Academy. Follow us and then hit that retweet right here. And then, did I not retweet this yet? There we go. And then we got to come over here, hit that like button. You get entered to win, you know, a variety of different things we do on a weekly basis, from $100 to lifetime memberships to month membership, or to, there's a lot of different things that we do. And we basically draw the names from a random name picker from the retweets of the tweets. We pick a random day. That's why you got to come and watch every day. We're breaking down the charts and we're breaking down different things and how to arrive at the conclusions that the professional analysts arrive at. We want you to be able to do that on your own. And we love you to be here, but we want to teach you different strategies on a daily basis. So come and share this with other people so they know that they can come and learn some stuff too. And this is just the free side of it, the BitLab Academy. Of course, you can always come over to the BitLab Academy page and come over to check out all of the stuff in the new BitLab Academy. It's loading, but we got all the stuff. So we got, let me see, we've got 147 people, only 47 likes. What are you doing? Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Let's get this up to over 100 likes and we will dive into some charts. Okay, let's look at this. So I want a couple more things before we dive in. And I told you, we're gonna be doing a lot of charts today. I want you to just pay attention to this chart. This is from the Rational Root. Wonderful, wonderful analyst. This is basically a different visual representation of, visual representation of basically the halving cycles. And you can see, here's the key right here. It's always important to look at the key, right? So orange is Bitcoin. So this is this line. The dark marks, or these little dots here, the darker, this is all-time highs. And red is bottoms. So we see the bottoms. Look at all these bottoms lining up. Isn't this crazy? Almost perfectly in sync, almost as if we have a near 4-year cycle. 3 years and 10 months is really what the Bitcoin cycle is. And then of course, green, the halvings. Now we can see, he calls it, he says 2 pizza slices until next halving. If you like pizza, throw a 1 in chat. I wish I didn't like pizza as much as I do. I'm kind of currently on a bit of a fast, and I'm vibing right now with energy. But man, I'm hungry. So we could see the reason we talk about this on a 4-year cycle and how this visual representation, this spiral, this Bitcoin spiral, we can see this is early. So we can kind of, I don't want to say discount, but this is not going to hold as much weight. You see the bottom is here on this cycle. Well, this is also just after very, very early in its early on from its genesis. And so once we get a little further along, we can see the halvings line up. Okay, that makes sense because of where how many blocks have to happen before a halving. And then we see shortly after the halving on this first run, we got all-time highs relatively soon. That makes sense because almost every time every move up was going to be all-time high because there's no previous history. So if we discount this row kind of all the way out to here, we can see, okay, this is a bottom, and from this bottom to the halvings are all lined up here. Now, from this halving, we were getting all-time highs, and look at the next cycle. The all-time highs are lining up about the same time when we're hitting them, and then we get a little bit of a pullback, all-time highs. Okay, now this is getting a lot more all-time highs. And then we finally get all-time highs lining up again. And this is basically this current run we were on when we had the $69,000 top, and then this long period of time, and then the bottom. And we can see through here on none of these did we get all-time highs. So I just want to really talk you all out of thinking that I'm not saying that it's impossible, but it's very unlikely that we are going to rocket up. Remember the person that was saying, I forget his name, Ben Jolly or something, was saying that Bitcoin was going to hit $1 million in 90 days. I think we're probably at about that 90-day mark. And it's just, I think that was more for promotional purposes than actually thinking Bitcoin was going to go to $1 million. I doubt that we'll even get to, I put a 99% lack of possibility, 1% possibility of us hitting all-time high before the halving. Okay. Could it happen? Yes. But I think what's really going to happen is we're going to get a very strong bullish impulse. We've talked about it a lot on this channel, getting a very strong bullish impulse up to, the $38,000 to $50,000 range, depending on what happens with the risk on, risk off narrative in the markets. Okay. And so depending on what happens, also what happens with the FOMC tomorrow, if they're going to be dovish, and also they're going to get the pivot. But then remember, after the pivot, we have to remember this. After the pivot doesn't mean all of a sudden we're going to have, all markets just rocketing to all-time highs, meaning traditional markets and Bitcoin. Studies have shown after the pivot is when you actually get the actual lows of a recession. The question is going to be, is this time going to be different? Because there's so many different things at play within the ecosystem, the financial ecosystem, not just Bitcoin. I just mean the global tapestry of finance. And we've got to map things out. We've got to understand what the possibilities are, and the likelihood that we're going to get all-time high. Coming back over here onto my screen, the likelihood that we're going to get. Let me turn off this. Okay, the likelihood, and we're going to map out a new chart here today. But we come over here, come back to having past dates. Now, if we zoom out on this, actually, I think it's this chart right here, right? No, this is my crazy chart. I did this one just as an experiment, by the way. I don't trade on this whatsoever, but I did this as an experiment about right here, and started over the course of like 2 or 3 weeks, drew basically a horizontal rays with pivot points, where basically finding any two touching points and creating, basically sending out basically spider lines in the chart. And it's really interesting how, even starting back here with these pivot points, you can see this is respected this region. It found support on these. This is all the way from back here, found support here, broke all the way through, but bounced right at this pivot point, came up, got rejection at this pivot point, or the spider line, I should say, came down, found support on this line again, came up to this channel, broke down, finding resistance on this channel. We broke through, and we but it's just, I just did this as an experiment, and I just kept it up to see how long these lines would find any sort of representation on the charts. I could even see right here. Here's another line. This is just an experiment. I do not trade on this. But we can see, what was I doing? We were looking at the halvings. Okay, where was my halving chart? So here we go. Okay. The future halving is going to be in 2024. 2024, about March, about right here. Option V. So this is the next halving. And when we look back, I don't know, I had another chart. There it is. Is this it? When we look back, this was the previous halving. This isn't the chart I was looking for, but it works. The previous halving right here, and we can see we had this large push up. If we go onto an older chart, I know I have it somewhere. There's an older chart on here. I guess it was original chart I was on. So if we look back at 2015, we had the strong push up, and there's a lot of consolidation, pullback, 100+% push up, 50% pullback, about 50% push up, about 30% pullback, and a lot of volatility, and then a strong push up into the halving, sell off, and the continuation, actual start of the parabola, meaning the parabola, I mean, is, you know, this guy right here, where you're getting increasing momentum to the upside. So when you're in increasing momentum in the upside, we can pay attention, we can understand that we have a strategy in place. And the strategy in place would be, let's come over to my Twitter. We've talked about this a lot, but we got to drill it home. The strategy in place would be coming over to this pinned tweet I have. Of course, smart money buys at the bottoms, but you still have opportunities. And then we have the retrace, and we have another opportunity to buy. Similarly, if we go back to 2015, we had that play out over and over again. If we look right here, what we want to do is attack this and understand that there's multiple different market cycles happening at any given time. We haven't talked about this for a week or two, so I just wanted to reemphasize. We have the macro trend, we have the midterm trend, and then we have the micro trend, right? The small time frame trend. So the macro trend is when you're looking at, you know, months and years, okay? So weeks also kind of fall into that, but weeks, once you get down to the 3-day and the daily, then you're kind of looking at midterm trend, and then you can break that further down into the 8-hour and 4-hour, and you can use the 8-hour and 4-hour for signals on a daily. But then once you get below the daily, you're really looking at smaller time frame trends. So you may be trading on a macro start of an uptrend, but you have to realize this right here, this push up and breakdown is this full market cycle on a much smaller time frame. So that being said, once we establish that we're going in to this parabola, and we know we are in a macro uptrend, okay, very strong, then we can utilize a strategy where we're buying dips and being confident about it because we are in that parabola and we're seeing the market, just the market driving forces in retail just driving that price action up. So we don't, you know, if we miss a move, if this breaks up and we miss a move, you don't buy mid move. You let this pull back and you buy the dips on the uptrend. So we need to establish where those dips are. And we're going to be looking at, again, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Cardano, AVAX, XRP, and a bunch of other altcoins. I think right now what you should all do, put in 3 altcoins. You can do it in one line, just the 3, you know, BTC, ETH, ADA, whatever, even if it's some of the ones I've said. I want to see the 3 coins you're most interested in seeing charted today. Let me know in chat. If you're watching this later, if you're watching over on Hit Network, make sure at some point you do come over and join us here at BitLab Academy, which you can see, you can just search BitLab Academy or come to youtube.com/@BitLab Academy. Follow us. We're pushing 6,670 only in the matter of about 3 months here. I can't believe it. I appreciate you all. We've got a lot of great content. And again, remember, come and check out this playlist here, this daily alpha. We've got a lot of good stuff. I recommend everybody, if you have not yet, check out the Pro Trading View guide. It gives you a lot of quick tips and easy tips and tricks to set up the formatting of your trading view, as well as knowing how to do the option J. You see that horizontal array, option H, horizontal line, option V, option F for your fib, you know, so you don't always have to come back and forth through the toolbar. I got a lot of tips on there on how to really dominate and setting up your templates to have it how you want, so you can go back and forth between different indicator series and sets. You see how this, I can go through different setups, and it just makes it a lot easier once you dominate your trading view, so you're not lost just trying to do TA. Now, when we're talking about all these market cycles, what we're really talking about is this 4-year cycle. This was in 2015. We're getting the push up, consolidation, push up, sell off into the halving was right here. And then this strong push to the upside. Let me go ahead and get rid of this. Now here, we've got this push up, pull back, and then this continuation. So when we're talking about the current state of the market, what we want to identify is that, you know, when we come back to, was it this one right here? No, it's this one right here. Being that the bottom was just in and we're about halfway, so 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So we're through one of these pizza pie slices of this, this spiral. Let me make sure I'm not getting dings. Okay. We're halfway through, or 1/3 of the way through between the bottom and where this halving is. Now, the halving, remember, if we look historically, and it may not play out the same way, historically, we've had this strong push-up, sell-off, and this looks a lot bigger, but I just want to point something out here. If I press Command, I think it's Alt on a PC. Get it? Okay, yeah. I was getting a lot of dings. It's coins, you guys said. You see, we want to be engaging here. So let's look at this. Just to reemphasize, just to remind us, if we press Shift and click on the chart, we can get a measuring tool. This was 120% move, followed by a strong sell-off, right? 42% sell-off on that. Now, this next move was another 56% up, and then only to pull back down another, cut down another 25%. And then this consolidated for a long period of time. Basically, even within the moves up and down, essentially we're around the same regional level for 206 days. This is a possibility. But then after that, we break out of that momentum, velocity, excitement, comes back in the market. 81% move to the upside. And then followed by 40% to the downside. So we need to realize in this move here, now this was a much bigger move. We had this massive sell-off. Everybody, this is when you have to understand also, there was an exponential number of people that came into the market. Once we broke $1,000, $1,000 is right here. So this is $1,000 mark. We can do option. Let me get my screen back looking how I want it. Okay, let's come over here. The $1,000 mark was right here. So option T gives us a trend line that's right about the $1,000 mark. You can see there was a lot, you can tell by the price action on this chart that there was a lot of questions about, is this price, I'm going to double click to minimize, just so you all know, if you have a bunch of indicators on your chart and you just want to look at the price action, you can double click and it will minimize these bottom windows. Now I'm going to go just to the chart. I want you to look at this. What do you see? Tell me in chat what you see. This is supposed to be engaging today. Tell me what you see in this region right here. And I don't want to make this red. We'll make this blue because this is more of a question. What do you see when we get to the $1,000 mark? What we see is strong move into, now I'm going to press Command. I think on PC it's Alt, I believe. When we have a strong move into this, okay? Now, of course, right here, we can see option T. There's a bit of a, it looks like it's a bit of a rising wedge here. So this is the strength of the market. Rising wedges typically break to the downside, but the fact that there's a, just strong strength, a lot of strength coming in the market, this broke to the upside. This is why you need to pay attention, regardless of what pattern you like to use or don't like to use, or you always trade the breakdown of a Head and Shoulders. You got to be prepared for it not to do that, especially when you're in a strong trend. Okay, in this case, this is already created new higher lows, higher highs. I mean, look at this higher low is significant, okay? Now it consolidated here, and once this pushes up, once we broke, you see this level right here, this is gonna tie into what we're talking about and where price action is today in a second. This is a bit of a rising wedge, but we can also see option T, we can go right across here. This is also a previous high level. So once we break above this level right here, let's go make it more flat. There we go. Once we break above this level, then this sort of bearish pattern, this rising wedge, which is one, we break all this down in the candle patterns course in BitLab Academy. But once we break out of this with, enthusiasm and momentum, look how strong this breakout is, okay? Then a lot of people feel like they missed a move. And what do we also get at this region, this $1,000 region? I'm kind of doing this line right kind of through the median line here. What we get is is Bitcoin worth actually being above $1,000? Why do I say that? It gets rejected. People go, this is much too high. Remember, at this point, I don't think Bitcoin, at this point, this was also, not only that, we have the previous all-time high right here. We can draw just a little bit of a box right in this region, and we can make this red. That's not what I want to do. Style. There we go. So we have the previous all-time high. This rallies into the previous all-time high and gets rejected. Now, people here people that jumped in here because, oh my God, it's only going up from here. These people made a stupid decision unless they had diamond hands and they were willing to hold until much later in the market. But the people buying in the middle of a push like this, people buying in the middle of these pushes are not trading with data. They're trading with emotion. They're trading with FOMO. So don't buy these moves. Buy the retest. Look at this. We had an opportunity to get in lower than this actual breakout. So on this breakdown, what do we always look for? Remember, come here. What do we always look for? We look for the breakout, which is, okay, we have the line. We have, let's look at this region right here. We have the breakout, we want the retest, and we want the continuation to the upside. The very confident move is right here. Once we break this level here, which would be this previous high, then we know that this is what's known as a confirmation. We broke previous resistance that is now support going now this is support. This was testing it. Bulls push, take profits. They see how much strength is left in the market. Where do the bulls want to come back in? They come back in at the previous resistance, continuation up. Same thing here. Push up, previous resistance. Now we have this. You see, we even see this indecision here and then a continuation up. Now, what my point here is with all of this is that we have a lot of doubt around this $1,000 area. Price action pushes up, gets rejected, breaks through it, kind of loses it for a second, pushes back up, retests it again, and then launches. So we have multiple opportunities as we're going in, and I'm going to delete some of this so it just doesn't cloud up my chart later. I'll leave it. So we can reference it later. When we look at where we're at here, I missed the move. Oh, I better get in the move, and then you're underwater immediately. You capitulate, you sell below the move. So when we bring it to where we're at right here, and we can see, by the way, had you waited, you had this, without the global economic shutdown right here, this is a COVID sell-off, this would have been the opportunity right here to get in. And if this dips lower, my strategy is not to sell as this dip lower, it's to take advantage of this lower price action and add to my position. And this is why it's so important to always have dry powder on the side, meaning you have capital available to you to take advantage of the swings in the market. Kelly, you rock with LimeWire. Well, I used LimeWire years ago. I'm talking back in the Kazaa days. This is like back when we would message using ICQ. If you remember ICQ, put a 1 in chat if you remember ICQ. I wonder how many people. I'm 39. I'm one of the few people my age that I've had a computer in my house since the day I was born. My first business, I was 12. I started a website design company, and this is back in the day when you had to code from scratch HTML. Open bracket, header, close bracket, HTML, like it was, all those things. So when MySpace came around, I was killing it because I knew how to code all that HTML stuff. But I'm just curious where you guys are at. ICQ, yeah, what's up? You guys remember that? Now, we had the opportunity to come down. And remember, what do we talk about? What do we talk about so much? Not everybody uses these as much as I do, but I just find these things to be so wonderful. And let's look, option F. We're going to click here. We're going to drag to the bottom. And I just want you to notice, where did this top out? So if you were in this move, you could see that this came right up to the golden pocket, the 0.68, 0.618. I add the 0.65 in there too, because it gives me a little region. But 0.68 is what's the most important. And we can see on these, I believe on this one, on most of these, look at that, golden pocket. Now look at this next one, option F. Just a little bit shy of the golden pocket. Now we can see on this main move, golden pocket. Now, in addition to that, we can go from the bottom, option F, to the top. And look at where this found support. Bounce, golden pocket right here. Bounced in support, bounced again, created basically an inverted head and shoulders and went to the upside. Now, would this have would this have gone higher without the global economic shutdown? There's no way to know that. That's irrelevant for us to ask because we can't know what didn't happen. What we do know is this likely would have been the floor. I mean, it was the floor, but this likely would have been the floor, push up, a pullback to this region. We probably would have got another push up and a little bit of a pullback consolidation into a move, but we didn't get that. We got the pullback to this golden pocket. So you could have taken advantage of this just on these golden pockets alone, knowing where to kind of take some profits, let it pull back a little bit. Where do I add some profits? Well, you can layer it with the 382 and then add some more at this golden pocket. And then when this pushes up and it comes down, it's like, okay, well, I know the market's strong right now. I know there's an anomaly in the world happening with the global economic shutdown. So I'm going to add to my position while everybody's scared. Now, when we take this, I'm going to delete some of those. So, okay. Okay, now when we look where we're at right now, if we turn these off, we can look just at golden pockets, option F. Okay, it's going to pull it back up. You know what I actually wanted to do? This is what I want to do. I want to do this on we're going to start fresh chart. We're going to do all TA from here, baby. All right, so what we want to do, we're going to use the BitGet chart. Option F, go to from the top to the bottom. We can see we have the 382 coming up right here about 35,780, which is, look at this, right about where the support is here. So there's going to be some strength at this level. I expect that we will at least reach this level pre-halving. I expect that we'll at least reach this level pre-halving. I would say about 72% sort of confidence in that. Because we have not only this 382 fib, but we also have a lot of interaction with this region right here. We got support right here. We have rejection right here. We have support. We have support, and this is where we lost. This is where we lost it right here, right? And this is tied in with the 382. Now, tradition would say, or historical relevance would say, and we got 201 people in the house. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button, ding that bell. We only got 109 likes. Let's get that up to 150 here in the next 10 minutes. Come on, dude. I'm waking up early, sharing all these thoughts with you. Hit that like button. It's the easiest way you can not help only this channel, but let YouTube and the mainstream media know that you like crypto content. It helps drive the crypto ecosystem forward. Now, we got this 382 right here, but conventional wisdom on where bounces tend to lie is, we can even look right here. Option F to the bottom, golden pocket bounces up, golden pocket rejection comes down to the 382 continuation. Classic sort of strategy here for fibs. Now you can't. I don't want to encourage anybody to be absolute about it having to. It doesn't have to come up here to 48 to. What was that? 48? Is this all the way at the top? Yeah. So basically $48,000 to $50,000 is the golden pocket up here. Okay. So let's go ahead and draw a little box in this region. This is our golden pocket. We can make it gold if we want to give ourselves a visual representation of what is going on at this level. So this is what I'm seeing. We have higher lows. Okay. We have higher lows. We have this previous resistance. This is fighting itself right here. We have a bit of a trend line right here. We can see that if we lose this level, then what I'm doing is I see this trend line. So if we lose this level, when I look down, as I'm looking down, as I scroll my mouse down, and this is why the other day I talked so much about coming here, right-clicking, coming to settings on your trading view, turning on your crosshair, and making it a little bit visible so you can see it. And that's where you can see those lines going across all the way across the screens. Because as I say, I'm pretending that the price is moving. I'm pretending the price loses this level. As I move down, what I'm doing is it's kind of like if you have a ruler in your hand and you come down, you're trying to find where it finds resistance. It touches like the edge of a desk or something, right? So picture these crosshairs extended out as being a firm piece of mass, right? And here we see it's bouncing right on this level. So not only this level, also this level right here. So what we could do is this gives us our target to the low side, this regional target to the low side, and we're going to make this blue. Okay, come in here. I don't want to do rectangle there. Boom. Make this blue. So now we can kind of see regionally I've got these lines that I had done before when I was doing TA with you all. I don't know if you could see them, but they're these, you can see that, right? Yeah. It's very dim because these are not absolute areas. This is where strong bounce happened and a lot of support of this region and a lot of price interactivity. And look at where all this bounce and all this interactivity, and what are we having right now? A lot of interactivity. So the past price action, zooming left, looking left, gives you an idea of where there's interest, where there's price memory in the chart. So looking left, we see this and it comes across, we're having a little bit of a trouble here. And so it's not the end of the world. We have this level directly below us. And if we want to do one more level below that, we can come back over here, click on the chart. Where's my box now? We can see right in this, right in this region right here, there's another region. Why do I say that? Why is this another region? Well, we have rejections. We have rejections right here, right? And we have support right here on this box. We have rejection on the bottom side of the box. This rejection goes all the way to the top side of the box. And we can bring this down just a touch. And then we have the rejection here. And then all this price, this sits on top of it, falls through, bounces at the bottom side of this range. And so what I'm looking for here with Bitcoin is over the pre-halving, meaning over 2023, all the way up until March of 2020, up until March 2024, I'm looking at, even if we don't reach these upper targets, we've got a lot of levels below us. We can kind of do, got a lot of levels below us. We'll kind of do this regionally for the absolute bottom. We're going to make this, yellow and very bright, because this is like, I do not, we'll make it very bright red. I do not want it to go down to this level. This would be testing the absolute lows from before. Very well could happen. So when we look at this, we can come over here on the left-hand toolbar. Where is it? Price level. And we can kind of just get a general idea. Hold on. Let me come back here. I like these things to be clean. Here we go. So now we can delete your fibs off the chart. And now what we can do is, now we know, we can kind of, and so once I do that, so I don't have to go back and forth like this, which a lot of people, I get so frustrated watching people be very inefficient. And I can be inefficient myself at times too. Maybe that's why I get frustrated with other people. But you can, once you do it, it's on the chart, you just do copy, paste, move it, copy, paste, move it, copy, paste, move it, copy, paste, move it. I like to move it, move it. All right, so now we can see just generally what our regions are, just like this. Now, the alternative to this, if you don't want to have these on the chart, is you can essentially just come over to these levels, and within the level, you can do a option J. This is why I like option J so much, because you see this puts the price printout on the right here of what it is. Now, whatever color you want it to be, you just make the line that color. So this one's red, so let's make that red. So you see, now on this one, these are going to be blue. We're going to do them right in the median, option J, right in the middle here. This can be blue, so we know what's going on there. And then we'll do this one as option J, as a little bit lighter blue. And you can see now we have the price action over here, option J. As silly as this feels like, I'm telling you, when you set your charts up that are immediately visually representatively understandable to you, it saves you a world of energy. Let's make this a little bit. Yeah. It saves you a world of energy in the charts, because you're not having to remember what and why and where and what's going on. It's like you can see, and you can look directly over to the right side of the bar, and you're trying to figure out where your levels are. We could put this right at about $50,000. Now you can delete the boxes if you want, but we can see, now we can see on the right-hand side exactly what these levels are. If we lose this level, we know our next target down, immediate target down. If we zoom in, this is still the 3-day chart. If we zoom in, notice we haven't used any indicators yet. We're using price action to give us our levels. if we know our next level down that needs to hold, of course, we bounce perfectly on this line here, okay? And, you know, essentially when you're trying to draw a line, you want to basically have it touch as many points as possible. Now, if I come back over here, come to the daily, we can see, okay, we're getting a lot of touches here. And so we bounce perfectly at this line. It doesn't mean we're absolutely going to hold because we do have a lower high here. If we do not break this high, it's very likely we're going to come up into this, you know, 0.618 or 0.32, which is basically about where we're at, and lose this level. And there's two options. We're going to get a washout wick, which would basically be testing these lows right here, which is, you know, a lot of price action at this sort of, let me make it flat. These lows right here. And this is kind of the region I'm watching. Once we lose this level, then it's very strong possibility that the next level down is going to be basically 25 to 24. We've talked about this a lot. So, and then on the upside, we know we have these previous levels directly above us. Now we can look at previous price action. We have this high right here. I think this high, which is $32,000, I think is going to be a small pausing point. But I think once we break above the $31,000, $32,000 level, I think this is going to kind of work its way up, and then it's going to be fairly quick move up to 36,000. And then if we able to take this confidently and don't just get a strong rejection, I think that then we can talk about attacking the 40K level, and you know, and only after that will I look at the possibility of pre-halving. I'm talking about pre-halving hitting the golden pocket 50K. Now, where do I think it's going to happen? Well, this is looking a bit bearish with this structure. So I'm not going to trade on this pattern until we get the monetary policy decision and we see the market, because there's a bit of uncertainty, even though it's 25 basis point hike likelihood. You know, there's basically 92, 93% of the market last time I checked this morning are planning, you know, it's priced in for a basically 25 basis point hike. We're going to get volatility tomorrow, likely a wick down or likely a wick up, and then basically come back like a heartbeat. We've talked about this before, having that heartbeat motion. If it comes down, it's going to come down quick, back up, you know, kind of like this, or, you know, maybe even down and then like this, but coming back some sort of median line. If it breaks up, it's going to go up and then come back down and then kind of find an equilibrium. So we need to not trade the volatility. We need to trade the action plan that we have. And so if they're very dovish, because there's a lot of issues with what's going on with the, you know, banks, liquidity, you know, this argument about the US dollar reserve currency. So we need to let this pick a direction. And then if we're already in from down here, then you're still, I mean, fine. You need to understand the time frame you're trading on. So we have our levels both above us and below us. We understand what's going on. Now let's jump into the TA of everything. I just want to reemphasize how you can identify your levels on this chart. Now, the last thing I want to do is on the smaller time frame, we can do that fib to the downside. We can see the golden pocket is in confluence with this zone down here. This would scare a lot of people out. But it's important to understand that if this price action comes down, one, we had this trend line here that we broke out of and retested twice. And so coming down here, we're still above this massive downtrend. Now, in addition to that, we're still forming a higher low on this larger term trend. And this level is not only previous highs and support and a lot of price interactivity, price memory in this zone, but we also have this golden pocket here. So if this were to come down and bounce sharply off this golden pocket, I could see a strong scenario of that happening. So I'm not really getting worried until we lose this level. I'm mildly worried. I start getting concerned. I start really looking more deeply at a bear level. If we lose this level with confidence, 24,000, and we actually trade into this region, then I start getting a little concerned. I'm not changing my bias or not bias. I'm not changing my analysis or anything, but I'm saying once we not only lose this level, I'm expecting a bounce at some point at this 25 level. If we lose this level and we're trading in this, you know, weekly, I mean, in this zone near the golden pocket of this full move, then that's when I start looking, okay, well, maybe I need to hedge my position and take a small short or look at some partial exits. That's my strategy. Now, in terms of looking at this with the indicators, let's see what's going on. Let's see what the signals are telling us. Okay, we got a very clear, look at that. Come on, automatic. 7 bearish divergences right here. We also had a bearish divergence on the hidden volume, which is a very strong signal. I'm going to go off my face here so you can see. Bearish divergence on the hidden volume coming into this move, showing there's lack of volume interest at this level. And this move is almost I don't want to call it a fake move. It is an unhealthy move in the market because there's not volume interest at this level. And then we get this short squeeze. It moves the price up very quickly. And then, of course, right after that, we get this led into this 7 bearish divergences because this is signaling there's not that much interest at this level. We had the relative extrema sticking out as well on top here. But then we got a small move by the bears. There were some underlying bullish pressures that sent us sky high that was somewhat unhealthy. And then we get the bearish divergences come down where we're at right here. We're not getting a clear signal in terms of divergences, but what we can look at, we're here on the daily, we can see that this move up, we could have expected to fail because the relative extrema came up. And if we zoom in on this, I believe this came up all the way to the 786, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, this came up, tested 786, very strong fake out here. And so we could kind of see this strength, but we see that's not healthy strength. That's what this relative extrema is. So, and again, we are working a lot of good updates into this whole trading stack, where some of the readings from the relative extrema are going to be visible in the candle charts, to where you can look at a candle and say, oh, this is an unhealthy candle. And it's basically deriving a lot of the data from the relative extrema here. Now, we did get this bullish divergence that sent it higher. Okay, blah, blah, blah. We've talked about Bitcoin as ad nauseum the last couple of days. Right here on the 4 hour, this is where we're going to look at the 4 hour and the 1 hour charts today for all the other coins. And I see in the chat, I see Optimism, Gala, ICP, Ethereum, Crow, Ape. I've never looked at Ape, but I'll do that. I'll do that for you all. Link, Matic, and GRY. I don't know if that's supposed to be GRT, but I'm going to look at a couple other ones as well. But when we're looking at this on the 4 hour, zoom in here. We're seeing market structure weakness, being that we have lower highs. Now the question is, do we keep the same low here, or do we form a new lower low? If we form a new lower low, then I would be looking, even if it's just a stair step, down to this level. So as it looks right now, it's looking a little weak structurally, meaning the price action. However, we are getting a bullish what was I trying to say? Oh, we're getting conflicting signals. Bearish divergence on Chaikin money flow into this support here, okay? But we got this undervalued signal right here, this blue undervalued signal right here, and we're starting to see this movement to the upside, meaning that the stochastics, momentum, other momentum signals, other momentum data is showing that things are undervalued. So if this can't break past, basically break above this EMA ribbon and hold above it, then this is very likely going to kind of come up like this, about the 618 level, come back down, tap, tap, break is what I'm looking at for Bitcoin. Now, on the 1 hour, is there any other leading signals here? Okay, 1 hour, we saw on the 4 hour, it was very strong, undervalued. On the 1 hour, there's a red signal here flashing, showing a relative extrema, showing unhealthy movement through all of this. We have the weight of the EMA ribbon above us right here, and this is finding rejection inside of it. And we have the relative extrema showing weakness of this move and the significant movement flashing red. This is likely in some sort of soon time frame. It's probably going to be in this region until tomorrow's FOMC meeting, and either pick a direction one way or the other. This is why you have to be prepared, both directions. Now let's go through these. I'm going to go down the list as my. This is just going to be down the list as my mod sends it to me. Now, I'm going to shout out for a moment before we do that. We got 204 people in here, 149 likes. Let's get those likes up. It's the easiest way you can help the channel. Join us here today. Have we had anybody join live during the stream? I don't even know how to see that. But let's get that chat rate up. All right, we're going to do Optimism. We got an Ola in the chat. I don't know. I wonder if one of the... We must have some Sin City crew in here. Shout out to those guys. So now let's do Optimism. Optimism Prime. All right, so let's go ahead and look at this. We're doing the 4 hour and the 1 hour. Let's go to auto. Let's look without the indicators first. And we can see, okay, we've got this structure. We can kind of extend this out. This was kind of like this. Look at this. I had this here the other day, and we saw how I was just stretching that out. And we could see, turn off auto, dang it. We could see that there's a lot of support bouncing. This kind of broke through it, got rejected, and then broke back into it. But then we get the bounce, 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 bounce. A little bit of a rejection here. We can kind of adjust this. I drew this on a larger time frame, so it's why it's not. There we go. And this broke through. This broke through this area. And what do we see? We see, let me do, there we go. This broke through, immediately retested this, flipped it to resistance, broke down, came back up, tested this again as resistance, came down. Now, what I want to note, what I notice here immediately, option T, we've got, so why did I do that? Because although this could be a trend line too, this touches the most points. This is rejection, rejection, and then look, breaks through, support, falls through it, rejection, rejection, and look at this, rejection. So this is a line in the sand I'm looking at for, not line in the sand, this is a resistance level I'm looking at for optimism. Now, what I will notice is, if I'm correct here, this looks like it's a bit of a, there's somewhere in here, maybe a bit of a falling wedge, but it's very ugly. I wouldn't trade this as a falling wedge just because we have some touch points. I'd rather see a breakdown, come up to the top, break, like, and this upper area is very ugly, but this is loosely a falling wedge. We could say that. Maybe we just don't draw it from that point. We draw it from this point because we do get the touch. So we do have a little bit of a falling wedge, which indicates likely upside, but this is going to follow the lead of the market unless individual news for optimism comes out that really drives price higher. Immediately above this, if we zoom out, immediately above this, we have a strong, let's go to auto again. Auto. Immediately above this, let's look at these volume profile here on the right. We've got this, look at this, strong, we broke through this volume profile, and now look at this, it's literally testing that volume profile as resistance. So if we do lose this level, the levels I'm looking at below, option J, we can kind of, option J. We do lose this level. These are the levels I'm looking at below. First off, we have to test the bottom side of this pattern. This is the falling wedge-ish pattern, which is about $2. $2.04, $2.03. It's likely when it comes down here, it'll be more in confluence with this line, this previous low as well. So I'm looking at a retest likely down at the $2.04 level. If we lose this, then likely move down to $1.87, which is this volume node here. $1.87 likely down to $1.80 in this region. But again, this is going to be follow the leader with the markets tomorrow and what happens there. Now, if this does break to the upside, I'm looking at a very, very shallow sort of move to the upside, $2.21 being the first stopping point. And then this high volume node, about $2.20, let's just call it the $2.24 to $2.26 range because of this high in this volume node. And then next level up would be $2.33 and then continuing on. But then we have this larger term downtrend sort of descending trend line that we're going to be testing at some point up here in the $2.59 region. Once we take this level, I don't think these levels are going to be as much of work because this means the momentum is now shifting. Once we take this level, it's going to be boom, boom, and then a lot of momentum going to the upside. That's optimism. Now we're doing Gala. I already have a Gala chart, so I'll just go to it. I need to go. Man, look at SPYs. NASDAQ's dumping, SPYs dumping, Dow Jones dumping, dollar index up. Now we can come, I just, not meaning to look at this, it was just one of the charts I had up. Now coming over here to my other altcoin charts. Where's my, here we go, Gala. Now, I'm going to turn off the 4MA. We're going to look at auto. Okay, very similar sort of setup. Very similar setup to what we were seeing on Optimism. Option T. Option T. I don't really like that. This is a bit ugly. Yeah, we're going to kind of just do this here. Now, if we lose, let's turn on. So we're on the 4-hour, strong blue undervalued symbol, but not a lot of other signals here. We did get a money flow divergence right here. That's what the M is. You see, for anybody that uses the trading stack, I like mine like this, where you just have the single letter, and all you have to do is double click on the flag or come over here to settings and then come down here to show indicator names, shorthand, or you can do full. You can see right here, it'll spread this out. Gives you RSI, check and money flow, etc. Or you can don't show, and it'll just show the numbers if you want your chart to be very clean. I know sometimes when I pull up these indicators, it looks like there's a lot. Now, the only reason I have this up like that, for instance, like this, is because it allows you to see how good this is at showing where price movements are. And really, it's not showing that. What it's showing is where there's weakness in the market. So these flags are just showing there's there's a bullish divergence here, and price is moving lower, but there's strength coming in the market. And you're seeing we get what is MACD histogram, I think is MH. Yeah. Let's go to full. So we can see. Yeah, so this is a histogram and stochastics. So we're seeing strength come in the market while price is falling. We're seeing weakness come in the market while price is going up. These just tend to line up very strong with where price action moves. This is why we utilize this strategy, having basically calling out all these different divergences, as well as using this is not its only signal. I do not trade on just seeing this. I trade on seeing this, paired with seeing a bearish divergence in hidden volume. Look at this, seeing the relative extrema, showing the 3 bars to the upside, showing weakness in this move to the upside. And so 1, 2, 3, this was a sell on Gala. Now we're coming in. We didn't get the 4, which is the blue wave on the significant movement. It is neutral though, which is fine. If we come down to a smaller time frame, and this, if we do option V right there, so we know where it's at, we can see right here, this was oversold coming into this upper move. So we knew we saw the oversoldness as well. Oversold, bearish divergences on volume, unhealthy. This was a clear take profit, or if you had this move, for instance, if you were scalping, or a short to lower levels. This was a clear exit of a move. Now, where we're coming in right here, we have a bullish divergence. We're coming into a support level of previous price action low. Let's move this up just a little bit. We're coming into this level. We have the blue wave. We've got the relative extrema was showing unhealthy bearish movement to the downside. Now this is coming back in the wave, but we're finding support here. Now coming down to the 1 hour, what do we see? On the 1 hour, look at this. Sharp movement out of the momentum wave right here. This is what I'm talking about. This is a wave I'm talking about. This is healthy movement when these bars are within this. And this is also a bit of an aggregate momentum wave. Similar like when you see on Market Cipher, this is calculated differently, but you're seeing where the momentum is shifting, and the healthy momentum is shifting in the market. And we can see right here, this is unhealthy. And then we get the blue symbol, and it's coming into support. So even though we didn't have bearish divergence on this time frame, we saw this building into that right here. So we had a bearish divergence coming into the zone. We see this finding support, and we get the blue wave following unhealthy movement of the bears. And this would have been a clear area that you could have added to your position if you wanted to, a little bit more aggressive. But now coming in, the problem with this is coming in, we're finding a lot of resistance each time we come into the momentum wave. The EMA ribbon right here. So is this going to be a change of pace? If so, this needs to push all the way through this EMA ribbon, as well as contest this upper regional resistance level right here. We got 200 people in the room, 156 likes. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe. Join us here. What my only consideration here is we're already getting red. See, we see that we're getting a lot of rejection each time we come into the EMA ribbon, and each time we had undervalued still when we got rejected. This is not even undervalued. This is already showing overheated, right? I'm looking at a test on Gala. Likely retesting this low here, 36 cents, only about a cent down. But then if we come here, turn on the, not the 4 EMA, I want the VPVR. Here we go. Oh, my back is hurting. Everybody, stretch yourself. Oh, dude. Everybody, let me know in chat. We're at the computer so much, all of us. Do you have any sort of strategy for yourself? And I don't need it for myself. I'm asking. I want to check in. I want you all to check in with yourself. Do you have a self-care strategy? If you're sitting at a desk, do you have intervals that you get up and walk around, or do stretches, you know, with your back and your arms, and make sure your eyes are looking at different levels so you don't end up messing up your vision from staring at a screen? We have to remember, no matter what, I don't want all of us to make a bunch of money on these in these markets and then have the inability to enjoy it because our body is a wreck. So I want everybody to just practice some self-care. I'm just rolling out my lower back because it's hurting. Now, coming back onto the charts, we're going to do quite a bit more. Let's kind of mute this for a second. We can see, okay, now if we zoom out, we need to be on the 4-hour to do this. So, okay, so the next level, if we lose this level, I'm not saying that we're absolutely going to come to this. Come here. Come down here, double click here, double click. There we go. So if we lose this level is also contested similarly to this price here. If we lose this level, it's likely quite a bit of downside, maybe even testing this low here, this 30 cents. This also looks like it's probably lining up with where a fib is from this major move, just based on relatively to where it is. And look at that. If we lose this level, the golden pocket is just the golden pocket is just above this low. So if we lose this level, I'd be looking at something in this 32-cent region. I'm sorry, 32 cents. That'd be an amazing. My Gala bags would be very happy. If we lose this level, I'd be thinking we'd be testing down to 3.3 cents. If there's strength that comes into the market, if it's actually like actual bearish trend where we're actually even Bitcoin is going down to 22K or something like that, then we're definitely going to be looking at testing 3 cents. Next level down would be this high volume node down here with all this volume traded and all these highs, these levels, which would be down at the 2.5 cent level. If it came down to this level, I'd be a strong buyer. Of course, if we break to the upside, we have this major trend of not only this major trend, but also this shorter term trend right above us in the 3.8 to 3.95 sort of level. And if we're able to take this level, we do have a lot of volume right above us on Gala. So then we likely would consolidate here for a little bit and then a strong move to the upside to retest up to 4.8 cents up here. Now, let me see some of the other ones you all said. ICP. Okay, we haven't done ICP in a while. We'll do ICP. I'm doing y'all's requests, man. All you boys and girls. So who in here has bought ICP? Who in here is interested in ICP? Who in here has no interest at all in ICP? Let me know what your thoughts are in the chat. I was really interested in it early on, but then I was unaware of the massive FUD campaign that FTX had against them. So I found out a lot of the negative sort of sentiment that the market was feeling towards ICP, and some of the claims that were floating around were actually just manipulation from Mr. Bankman-Fried himself and their organization. So we have this symmetrical triangle here that we are kind of bouncing back and forth between. This is finding a little bit of support here. This is a previous high I won't call it a high. This is a previous level right here where we did get a rejection from. And this is, we can see option J right in this region. I'm going to kind of delete this one. This is not doing as much. If we lose this level, it's very likely price action is coming back down. We can turn on I'm going to turn off the show pivot points. So if we lose this level, I'm looking at a price action down here in the $5.10 to $5.20. So about $5.12, $5.14 region, because this is also if this is also the low here, But I think if we come down here, this comes down to 516. So in this region right here, if the price action makes its way here to a little more slowly, then likely price could bounce at the 520, 523 region. But again, if markets are kind of set forward tomorrow afternoon and into the rest of the week, we very well could have just a little wick in the volatility of tomorrow, have a little bit of a wick to the downside here, and then kind of come up here, test, and then move like that. So I'm not doing anything with ICP. It's something I do want. I don't have any bags of this. It is something I do want to add to, but based on its all-time high, where it is now and where it's going, I don't need to rush into this. Just buy this to front run this big breakout right here, because this is a big breakout. I would be trading this move here on the breakout test continuation up here for ICP. That would be my strategy to add it to my bags. I don't know what your strategy would be. If this does break down and go lower, then we could talk about that later. Because we have, for instance, this sort of region right here, $4.44 up to $4.53 for a regional buy here for ICP. Now, let's see. We're running through these today. Let's do Link. I don't think we've done Link in quite a while. Let's do Binance again. Okay, audio. I meant auto. Okay, let's do 8 hours just to get a general feel. Okay, look at this. Option T. We've got a bit of a range here. Option T. This is not going to be exact. I'm just showing just generally we have this range that Link is, it looks like the Bitcoin dominance. It's a range in here. How many people, throw it in chat right now. If you are somebody, are you a Link Marine? Let me know if you're somebody that likes Link. If anybody, for anybody that wants I don't want to call it a safer play. Link, for people that don't know, Link is an amazing altcoin because it's the largest Oracle altcoin out there. And when we see how fast the blockchain ecosystem is growing, Link is going to be pivotal in the infrastructure and being able to communicate and pull data between different blockchains and signals. And like, for instance, when you think about finance and you think about the decentralized nature of the way the world is moving, Link provides Oracle data pulling from different points. So you don't have, for instance, if you're trading hundreds of millions of dollars on a high frequency basis, and if you're quoting the financial trade rate as 0.0001% different than this other data provider, then you could cost somebody millions of dollars in fees over the course of a year. If you have an Oracle that's decentralized, it's basically pulling data from multiple different points, whether it's blockchains, whether it's data providers, whatever it is, you're basically getting a true, accurate, non-manipulated, it's an accurate number, as accurate as it can be. It's essentially an Oracle network. And so when we look here at Link, it's one of those things that I had a friend that was asking me about Bitcoin and crypto about 2 or 3 years ago, and he slow played it forever. And he finally, and after he stopped asking me, he finally ended up buying, he's like, okay, I'm going to buy some Link. He bought Link like about $54. It was so he bought the top. He was the epitome of retail, and I was talking about it like here. Okay. So what we want to do here is, although Link can move differently than Link comes to save our planet. Yeah, Zelda. Did I see correctly that there's a new Zelda coming out, or maybe it's already out? Because during the pandemic, we played the entire Wii U version of Zelda from start to finish. And it was incredible. I had never played that game before. I was like, I could not believe I'd never played it. But what I want you to notice here, let's stay on track. If you're a holder, if you're a Link person, let me know if you're a Link holder. We can see where price is at, this small dotted line. This is basically just shy of about halfway through the range that we have here that we're trading in. So with Link, if we look at this on the 4-hour time frame, we can see this is kind of, as Bill Noble says, the longer the base, the higher the space. So the longer this consolidates and there's strength, and the less excited retail traders come in. When this does move, it's going to be an honest move, and then it gets explosive quickly, and then you get a large amount of retail coming in, really driving the price higher after it's already made the move. So because when this is happening this way, smart money is buying this and supporting this price because they're seeing the fundamental development of this asset. They're not buying it just because they're hoping. They're looking at fundamental development and they're trading these swings. So once this actually does, come here, dang it. It actually does come up here and test this and break out. This is going to be one of those, it's going to move somewhat contrary to other coins. And so I mean this, I want you to know yourself and be true to yourself, but don't be emotional when you're trading. If you know your assets that you're holding, and say you're holding Link for 4 months and everything else is moving and Link's not moving, and you're like, okay, and you sell to buy something that's already moved, one, that's a stupid move. And yes, I have made that move, so I'm comfortable saying it. I'm not calling any of you stupid. I'm calling myself stupid, and I don't want you all to do that. Stick with the fundamental analysis of understanding the adoption growth of the assets you're buying. Look at the transaction fees, how many transactions are happening. Look at the data. Go to DeFi Llama. Look into these different data points, not just a price action, so that you're making smart decisions on the assets you're holding. That way, when Pepe coin is running, you're not like, man, why am I holding on the Link? Man, Pepe is running. And I'm not saying you shouldn't buy Pepe. I'm definitely not saying you should buy it at all. What I'm saying is, do the diligence on the assets that you buy. And right now, when we're looking at Link, this is consolidating, but it also has wonderful economic fundamental growth, as well as partnerships, as well as how many different places use a Chainlink. Chainlink partners. Let's look at this. I mean, this is so integrated. And this is what you do. If you don't know about something, you come and you look it up. You come look in the ecosystem. There's a lot of different, I mean, look at all these different, and it's not just blockchain companies that are using, I mean, this is a digital marketing group. We got Poolside. We got, it's not just blockchain. This is the Chainlink can be used. The service of Chainlink, what they provide, can be utilized by people in the blockchain ecosystem, as well as people that are just needing accurate data points. So this is a strong thing. So I want you to pick the assets that you have, do your diligence. And if you need to pivot out of something because it no longer fits the requirements you have for your portfolio, that's fine. But don't jump out of something that has been steadily building a base because something else moved and you jump into something else mid-move. That's not the case. So in this case, when we're looking at Chainlink, we can see, let me come back. My things are all, okay. Now, we're here let's look at this on a little bit of a broader view. Come on. So 3-day, look at this. A lot of bars to the downside here on the relative extrema. This was looking very overheated. It got rejected, but this is now flipped neutral. You see this is gray now right here. Now we have the relative extrema showing this is unhealthy bearish pressures here, meaning that the inverse of that is there's some bullishness coming in the background, but that's on the 3-day. Let's come down to the 12-hour. Okay, look at this. Now we're seeing this undervalued. This is showing that the stochastics, RSI, MACD, I just said MACD and other momentum indicators, a combination of other momentum indicators are signaling that we're likely forming a trend, this trend cycle low. A bounce may be coming. Now that's the 12-hour. Let's look at the 4-hour. Okay, 4-hour, we get two bullish divergences. This is flipped blue as well. This is showing likely trend floor. However, this has flipped back to gray. So this is still very choppy, and this is finding resistance on the 4-hour in this EMA ribbon. So if this were to break to the upside, I would be looking at, well, one, we have this trend right here that's formed because we have 2 points, right? So if this were to move to the upside, I'd be looking at a pivot or a potential pivot back to the downside right here at the basically $7.10. If we're able to break through this, then I think this is also going to be indicative of momentum shifting back to the upside. But then remember, we have this up here. If we went straight up from here, $9, this is a bit loose, but we have about a $9.20 sort of cent level before the actual real move happens. So you have some time. You don't need to front run this. If you're actively trading this, then you can, absolutely, I wouldn't necessarily trade this move to here, although this is a little bit of a move. It's about 3%. Yeah, I wouldn't trade that move. I would wait for this area here to break out from here. And then remember, you can always option F to the top, to the bottom. So this 382 right here, if we broke out of this, I'd be looking at my next stopping point at 747, and then I'd be watching the $8 mark. And I mean, from this move here, that would be a 12% move, right? And then if we're able to just knife through this, then our next stopping point is $8.79. Then of course the next one is this level above. So that's what I'm seeing. If you have not yet done it, come over here to, where is it at? First step. Come over here to the BitLab Academy page. Follow us here, retweet. You'll be entered to win. We give away all this stuff on Fridays. And by the way, I think I'm not going to be here on Thursday. I have an appointment I have to be at, but I am recording some amazing interview on Thursday afternoon that's going to be going out Saturday. It's so big, in fact, that we're actually going to be releasing the interview on the BitBoy channel. And then a couple days later, we'll re-release it on our channel, because it's going to be something that's going to be longer term stuff. But come here and follow the BitLab Academy page. Retweet this tweet. Hit that like button. You get entered to win some awesome stuff. We've got 176 people in chat. Hit that like button on the way out. Make sure that you are following me as well. You come over here at Kelly Kellam, Keloy, Kelam, and make sure you go to the bitlabacademy.com. And I'm just encouraging you, prices are going up when we roll out this new website and all of the new courses. I mean, it's so much content. It's probably 7x the content that was in the old one. Prices will be going up. So come over here to bitlabacademy.com, sign up so you get notified when the new, when you get notified the moment the new site is up. You'll get membership of this free weekly newsletter that I put out, with chart signals, stuff going on in the markets. And you can use BitLab 15 at checkout to get an additional 15% off. I'm saying join now. You get grandfathered in for the life of your account if you join before those updates. So you'll keep the lower prices for the life of your account. And again, you can use BitLab 15 for an additional 15% off both the courses and the indicators right here at bitlabacademy.com/indicators. And with that, I bid you all adieu. Adios, muchachos. Thank you for coming. Thank you for always tuning in. Adios, muchachos. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being all our friends. BitLabAcademy.com. Hit that like button, sucker.